Rock 100.9, encore une fois, au Festival d'été de Québec. On rencontre des artistes, on a du plaisir. Et ce soir, on l'attend depuis très longtemps, ce rendez-vous avec les Red Hot Chili Peppers. Et moi, j'ai un rendez-vous avec JoshKlinghoffer des Red Hot Chili Peppers. Josh, comment ça va?
Bien. Très bien.
Excellent, excellent. That's good. And with that French and that hat that you're wearing, everybody loves you already. So it's all taken care of.
That's about all I know. Yeah.
Excellent. Let's talk about, first of all, what's going on tonight. You're playing here at Festival d'été. It's been a couple of years that Red Hot Chili Peppers has topped the list of bands that people really wanted to see at the festival, and now it's finally happening. I know you're used to playing huge festivals. You just came back from Europe, but how does one prepare for a show where there's going to be over 60, 70, 80,000 people?
For me, I prepare the same way I would if there was 60 people. So I just kind of do the same thing, try and play guitar as much as I can before the show. You know, I like being at the venue or at the place we're playing as long as I can before we play, just to get a feel for where we're about to go do what we do. Even if it's a festival, I like just sort of feeling the crowd or the energy of the place. Yeah, so that's how I prepare. I don't know. So I've been here for an hour or so, and it's a nice day, and it seems like there's a nice thing going on here.
Yeah, and do you get the chance ever when you're playing festival or on tour to catch some other bands or catch some opening acts, or you're really on a tight schedule?
Festivals are trickier just because we don't come as early. You know, sometimes they're out in the middle of nowhere, and they're there's not a lot going on apart from our job to do. So I see things if I really want to, but I haven't made much of an effort lately. But the other day I was very pleasantly surprised. Before we played at Roskilde in Denmark, Damon Albarn and the Africa Express guys brought an amazing Syrian orchestra over with a number of guest musicians, singers, African musicians, some Middle Eastern singers, choir. It was incredible, and I had no idea they were going to be there, and that was one of the greatest things I've seen in a long time.
Excellent. Let's talk about your role as a member of the Red Hot Chili Peppers. This is the second album, The Getaway, that just came out that you do with the guys. Do you feel that you're more settling in now into that role as an official member?
I don't know. It's hard to say that because I mean, in certain ways, maybe, but mostly no. I was pretty comfortable with the guys and being in the band from the get-go. I guess it was just crazy, and it was a weird new experience the first time. But because we made this new album with a new producer, someone that all of us were new to, or new to working with the Chili Peppers with, this album was just very different for everybody. So being that I was the newest member didn't really have anything to do with it. Like we were all sort of made uncomfortable by the drastic change in method and environment that we were recording in. It was great and a lot of fun, and I think everyone had a great time. But yeah, for me, I don't feel more comfortable now or anything. I mean, just as you would with any friend, like I've spent more time with them, and as you get to know people better, you just get closer. And yeah, but I've known these guys for a long time.
Yeah, because you've been touring with them, to opening for them, and I think John Frusciante is one of your friends, actually.
Mm-hmm.
And let's talk about, you mentioned having a different method, because famously the Red Hot Chili Peppers have been making records with Rick Rubin. That's what they do for the last 25 years. This album you did with Danger Mouse. Why was that? Why was it more choosing Danger Mouse than leaving Rick Rubin?
I don't know. It's probably a little bit of both. I mean, I think all of us have different reasons for wanting to make a change, or I mean, I know I can only speak for myself, and though it was a great experience working with Rick on the last album, I felt that when there are 5 people making a record, let's say, not including the engineers or all the other people that are involved with making a record, but the 4 of us as band and Rick as the producer, those 4 guys had a 20-plus year working relationship. And that was something I began or became uncomfortable with after a while. That no matter what, I felt like the new person, not because I was new to the band, but because I was new to this family that they had, this sort of professional, artistic family that they had. So that was my main reason for wanting to try it with somebody else, you know. And I think everyone else had different reasons, and also, you know, a lot of people were a little afraid to not do what they were used to doing for a while. I mean, because Rick has done great things with this band. So, yeah, but I can't speak for anybody else, and I can't say it was one more than the other, wanting to leave Rick, because, you know, I think the band is so indebted to their work with Rick Rubin, and, you know, he's a massive part of the band history and the way this band has progressed over the years. But yeah, like I said, for me, I was new to that relationship, and I felt like if we did another record where I felt the way I felt last time, I wouldn't enjoy myself at all.
And the choice of Danger Mouse as a producer, how much of an influence did you have on that? Because you worked with Gnarls Barkley before. I know they opened you opened for the Red Hot Chili Peppers, but you played with him. So did you have a great influence on that choice?
I guess a little bit. I mean, he's someone that I've been good friends with for over 10 years. We did a record together back in the mid-aughts, or whatever you call it, the 2005 or so. We did a record with Martina Topley Bird. So just he and I being friends and playing in the same fantasy football league, it made it easy to talk about, you know, hey, would you want to explore the possibility of doing a record with us? And, you know, I think it made it easier, but, you know, he's just someone that has done great work, and all 4 of us respect. And, you know, I think whether I knew him or not, he'd be someone that the band wanted to work with.
Recently, Flea posted something on social media where you had a weird experience in Belarus. Were you involved in that experience where you had to sign some Metallica memorabilia?
Well, I was involved in the sense that I was in the room, but the minute I saw the Metallica photos come out, and I realized that the people who were working there had the wrong band, I felt sort of embarrassed for everybody in the room, so I politely excused myself to the bathroom.
How does one confuse, let's say, you with Kirk Hammett? You know, you don't really look alike.
I don't know exactly what the people at the airport were told. You know, maybe they were told big American band, you know, like Metallica. I don't know how it happened. Someone gave them the wrong information, and to their credit, they produced many a lovely Metallica photograph and bootleg CD, and they were ready for Metallica. It just wasn't the right the band that arrived that day. But I felt bad for I wouldn't sign someone else's picture, so I just conveniently disappeared.
Yeah, I would understand maybe a CD where there's no pictures, but there's a picture. Obviously, Flea is not Robert Trujillo, and, you know.
At a certain point, I don't know if they cared, you know.
Yeah, that's the thing. I just mentioned social media, and when we look at it, I know it can be misleading sometime, and you probably only post the positive things, but it seems... No, you don't post anything, but your band members do, and they really seem to be enjoying life right now, maybe more so than at any point in their career. Do you feel like that too?
Yeah, perhaps. I do. I think I've known them for a long time. You know, they've been doing this a really long time, and like I always say to people, they still shock me in how, for being at it as long as they have been, they really approach everything they do with a real childlike sense of wonder, you know, and they're really excited about doing new things, and, you know, they're really kind of cramming at the last minute to get prepared, and they get nervous, just like I do. But just to see, they've been doing it a lot longer than I have, and I think the band has just reached a level of comfort, and them as people, having families and having children that they're watching grow, and I think it's just they're watching a lifetime of hard work sort of pay off, and I think it's hard to be in a situation like they are with having beautiful children around and tons of these amazing crowds and these beautiful faces smiling at them and giving them a lot of love. It'd be real hard to be miserable and unhappy. I'm sure they try sometimes to be miserable and unhappy, but I think everyone's in a really nice place. Yeah.
And recently, Anthony had some health issues, and people were worried about him because, Red Hot Chili Peppers, usually they don't cancel shows. They're going to play whatever happened, but you had to cancel shows. So how is health for everybody right now?
Great. It's great. We were there. That was the first, actually the second. I was involved in another show canceling, but not with this band. We were ready to go. It only came down that we had to cancel an hour before, and someone saw him and touched his stomach or his kind of looked at him and said, if you do this show, you might tear something and it could be worse, so don't play. He was in the hospital for 24 hours and they took care of it, and he's good. He's back at it and everything's fine.
He's like the LTS rock star around, so.
Yeah, Flea too. I mean, yeah, incredible.
The Getaway just came out. It's the new record. There was some delay because of Flea's accident, but usually even then, the Red Hot Chili Peppers don't pump out albums with the cycle, of 2 or 3 years touring and then putting out a new record. Is there a conscious effort to wait, or is just no?
No, in fact, since I've been in the band, there's been a conscious effort to be quicker about it. I think they were on a pretty consistent schedule from when John rejoined the band. Californication, by the way, Stadium, were all sort of, tour a certain amount of time, take a couple months off, make a record, tour. So it was all pretty consistent. And then when I joined, I just remember there being this one full year of touring where we thought we were kind of done, but we still kept touring. And then, and then we started writing the record, then he got hurt. So everything wound up taking a lot longer. But no, I really want to go quicker, get more music recorded, get more out there. We really write a lot of music. We recorded 50 songs for I'm With You. We had, another 30 songs or so for this album that didn't get finished or didn't get worked on or recorded. I mean, we have no shortage of music. There's no reason why we should take 5 years to make a record. It's really crazy. So to answer your question in a long way, no, it's not a conscious thing. And if it were up to me, and hopefully this next time we will be quicker and we will, maybe just find ways to record things while we're touring or something like that, because it's really a shame to let so much time pass.
So 2018, 2019, we're going to have a new Chili Peppers record.
Yeah.
Take your word on it.
Yeah, let's see. Wait, yeah, it's very possible.
Excellent. I have a great show tonight. Have some fun. And I have a question. How long have you been a Nordiques fan?
Well, when I was a big hockey fan when I was a kid. So I can't say I'm a Nordiques fan because they haven't been around for a while, and I don't like the Avalanche. But when I was a kid, I really liked Joe Sakic, and I liked Matt Sundin, and I was a hockey card collector. So the Nordiques, I just thought, had a cool logo and a cool thing going on up here, sort of a smaller, out-of-the-way town, maybe. And I thought their hockey team was tough and badass.
And we'll bring him back.
Yes, yeah, I really think you should. The Winnipeg can come back, so can yeah.
Well, Josh, everybody in Quebec City loves you right now for that and for your work with the
supporter of the Nordiques return campaign.
Excellent. Have a great show tonight. It's been a pleasure.